Welcome to the National Shrine of Little Flower Basilica. My name is Van Rohr. I am a volunteer of tours and scheduling tours here at the National Shrine Basilica. It is a privilege and a joy to be of service to you today. I have to really begin this story back in 1701. It's important in the Catholic faith that in 1701, on July 24th, a gentleman by the name of Antoine Lemieux landed at the straits of the Detroit River with 25 boats, 100 men, and 2 of those men were priests. They were Jesuit priests. The very next day was the first Catholic Mass that was said in this area part of our country. The first Mass was said there at the Strait of the Detroit River, right there where the Joe Louis Fist is. As travelers later migrated west, a lot of them didn't want to come to Michigan because they thought Michigan was too swampy with all the lakes. Obviously, though, a lot of people did come to Michigan. And later on, it was found that this area particularly was quite a swamp. It was a swamp that was filled with the hatred of the KKK. They were very powerful, very strong. And Archbishop Michael Gallagher from the cathedral downtown Detroit wanted to plant the light of Christ and the Christian faith, the Catholic faith, here in the middle of the swamp. So he got hold of a young, obedient priest, Father Charles Coughlin, who looked around Woodward Avenue, up 13 mile, 11 mile, and right here, 12 mile, decided to send the church right here. Now, the church you're going to see today is really the second shrine, the second building. Let me go back to St. Therese of Lisieux. At the time, she was the brand newest saint of the church, 1925. That's when Bishop Gallagher reached out to Coughlin. That's when Coughlin started looking. And then in June of 1926, the first little church opened. It was a wooden structure. It seated only 600 people, but it was the first shrine of the Little Flower. Shortly after that grand opening, one evening, Father Coughlin was walking around the front of the church, and about 20 yards away from the front of the church was the burning cross of the KKK. Father Coughlin said, okay, I'm going to build a crucifix that will never burn. Hence that beautiful tower out front, which now stands 104 feet tall. Now, almost immediately, Father Coughlin was going to raise money for this new church, and he started his radio program. It used to be on Sundays at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, called the Golden Hour. It started out very religious, talking about faith, Christ, love. It later became very, very political, and people loved it. People all over the country, Catholics and non-Catholics, listened to the program. It was on the air every Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and over 40 million people a week would tune in and listen to the program. To put that in contrast, in today, the world's #1 talk show host, who recently died, was on over 600 radio stations. He had a weekly audience of 40 million. Father Coughlin, his radio program at the Zenith was on 54 radio stations across the country and had a zenith or a top reach of 40 million people. But all over the country, people send in money, pennies from school kids to big amounts of dollars from adults. A lot of people just send in a prayer. I can't afford to send you any money, but here's a prayer. So Father Coughlin loved the idea of the way this new church is shaped. You'll notice that it's in the round, but it's not exactly in the round. There are 8 sides to the church, and the 8 sides represent 8 days. The first 6 days, we know that the Lord created the universe and the earth and everything. The 7th day he rested, and the 8th day is the judgment day. Father Coughlin had received a lot of different architectural plans from the different architect companies for the more of the European style cathedrals with the flying buttresses, and he thought, no, that's nice, but geez, that's not really what I'm looking for. And when he saw this plan from the architect McGraw-Hill of New York, this church in the round, he said, that's it, I want to go this way. The reason he did was that he believed that as Christ should be at the center of our lives, that the Holy Eucharist should be at the center of Mass, and the church in the around made that possible. Very different from the cathedral-style Gothic churches of Europe. As you'll see, the shrine is, well, at the time, very, very modern with the Art Deco architecture and look throughout the entire church. You'll see in the room we're in here, these stair-step windows, that stair-step look, very, very emblematic of Art Deco artwork and architecture. You'll see it throughout the entire church, windows throughout the church. You'll see it in the ceiling grates around the windows up to the top of the church. You'll see it also even in just the pews. The very edges of the pews are all notched with that stair-step look. The supports that hold up the balconies, the upper balconies, are of that stair-step look. Shrine was a very, very important architectural accomplishment and was revered as a great example of Art Deco work back in the 1930s in architectural magazines and newspapers. Talking about a storied history here at the National Shrine of Little Flower Basilica, it was in 1999 that the parish became a national shrine, and then it was 2015 that the church became a basilica. Today, the National Shrine of the Little Flower Basilica is a very thriving church. A lot of things are always going on here at Shrine. Not only here at Shrine, but with the use of technology, as I'm sure all of you have participated in one way or other, but Zoom and other forms of e-platforms to get out the ideas and the events happening here at Shrine. During Lent, we've had different programs going on called Ascend, special Bible studies that have been here at the church in small groups, and also a lot of different programs online about Lent, Lenten studies, Bible studies. There's a lot going on here at Shrine all the time. Even here as we sit right now getting ready for Lent, there's at least a good dozen people out in the church that are polishing the brass, a ministry that we have here at Shrine, polishing the brass, cleaning up the church. Altogether here at Shrine, there's about 86 different ministries. Our newest direction will be joining the family of parishes, where throughout the Archdiocese of Detroit, Archbishop Vigneron has decreed that parishes should try to combine resources and talent. So it's been a joy to be of service to you today. My last thought, I always like to wrap up something like this is with, may it be His will and our hope that we'll see each other in heaven. Peace be with you.